welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs. We've got a great show on tap for you today. Are the Bengals interested in John Metchie? Also, is Calen Bullock one of the next superstars for your Houston Texans? And lastly, on today's show, will rookie Aireontae Ersery end up being the starting left tackle at some point during this season? I'll break down all these stories on today's show. Before we get going, we are this close to 31,000 subscribers here on the channel. Thank you to everybody who has already hit that subscribe button for free Texans content all year long. We're 38 subs away. I think we can get it on this video. So if you haven't already, go down, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, and you get Texans content all year long. Off season, regular season, doesn't matter. I'm bringing you the latest around your Houston Texans. Now, if you're brand new to the show, and just hit the subscribe button, obviously, this is our Toro Heads meter, and it's kind of how I break down stories and rumors on the program. If I give something 0 heads or fake news, that means it's not happening. 1 Toro head, small shred of truth. 2 Toro heads, people are talking. 3 Toro heads, it's pretty likely. And if I give something 4 Toro heads, H-Town, hold it down, it is happening. So let's just start with the first story on today's program. Are the Bengals interested in John Metchie? I'm going to give this one 2 Toro heads. I'm going to say it's a 50-50 shot in that the Bengals could be interested in John Metchie. Look, he's already kind of on that roster bubble for this Texans team. And if you've been a Texans fan over the past year, you probably heard John Metchie mentioned around trade rumors for probably more than a year. But this came from a Sports Illustrated article where they kind of linked Metchie to the Cincinnati Bengals. As we look at the Bengals depth chart, obviously, they have the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL, arguably with them or the Minnesota Vikings in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But behind those two guys, not a lot of great depth, right? Jermaine Burton, somebody who they drafted out of Alabama, has been a bust for them. And it's really just those top 2 guys and then nobody else, really. So that led them to the idea of the Bengals trading for John Metchie. And like I said, he's fighting for a roster spot at this point. You have Nico Collins, you have the 2 rookies in Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll, and then Christian Kirk, who the Texans traded for this offseason. So it makes sense as we're getting towards, training camp. If it looks like he's not going to make the roster, maybe the Texans do exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars did with Christian Kirk and end up just trading him for a late-round pick, and that's exactly what they mentioned in this article from SI. The Texans would receive a 6th-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, and the Bengals would receive John Metchie. So I'm going to ask you here on the show, would you do this trade? Give me a yes, give me a no down in the comment section. I know a lot of people are Metchie fans, but I want to hear your honest opinion. If you get hit with the YouTube ad break here, all good. Scroll on down and give me your answer. I've been a fan of Metchie. I've been really hoping that he can break out. I've been wanting him to break out. But at the end of the day, if this trade came down and it's towards the end of training camp and he's like on that roster bubble of maybe he's making it, maybe he's not, I would go ahead and get what you can for him in that 6th-round pick. I would go ahead and do that trade. Now, next up, Calen Bullock. Is he a superstar in the making? I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3 Toro heads. And I say there's a pretty good chance that Calen Bullock can start going into that next level, that next tier of superstardom in the NFL. This was actually from a Bleacher Report article where this was the picture they chose for Calen Bullock. And this is not Calen Bullock. Bleacher Report, do better. You're better than this. You are better than this. This is not Calen Bullock. This is Ronald Darby, who has since retired from the NFL. So now that we got our laughs out the way, let's actually talk about the premise of this story, which is this. This is Calen Bullock. This is what he looks like. This is Calen Bullock. Is he a superstar in the making? I think he is. As we look at his numbers from last year, his rookie season out of USC, incredible. 54 tackles, 5 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, and a completion percentage when targeted of 42.9%. He's an absolute dog. Him and Kamari Lassiter came on the scene, and made the Texans one of the best secondaries, if not the best secondary, in the entire National Football League. Now, for him to get to that next level, though, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of guys who have a good rookie season and then kind of falter out, or they have a really good year. They pop one year or the next, and then they kind of go back down. They come back to earth. I think for Bullock to be an all-around superstar, be one of the best safeties, if not, top 3 safety in the league, he needs 2 things to improve his game. He needs to be a more sure tackler. He had 11 missed tackles last season. And this one, I was kind of weighing back and forth on whether or not this should be a pro or a con, but he can't bite on double moves as much from receivers. One guy who kind of got him, along with some other Texans DBs last year, was Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's one of the best stop-and-go receivers in the NFL. But at the same time, that's kind of what makes him good, right? He's one of those guys who he will take chances. That's why he got 5 interceptions last year. Honestly, could have had a couple more if he didn't drop a couple interceptions. He's somebody who takes a lot of chances and is able to turn the ball over and get the ball back into the Texans offense's hands. So if he's able to kind of mitigate the mistakes with that a little bit and be a better tackler, I don't see why there's a reason that Calen Bullock can't be a top 5 safety in the National Football League in the next couple of seasons. Now I have one more story on today's show. Before we get into that, great deal from our friends over at Fanatics. They got you covered. I know it's hot outside, you're sweating, the humidity is probably pretty bad if you're in the Houston area. That's why I got you covered with this Nike Performance t-shirt. 25% off right now if you go to chatsports.com/HOU Nike sale. This moisture wicking technology, if you're going out for a workout, if you're going out to the park, if you're trying to go to the beach, this is the shirt that you need to be rocking. And, a lot of people, you got Texans jerseys, stuff like that. That's not practical to wear out and about. But this, you're going to a workout class, if you're trying to pick up chicks, oh my God, who's that guy in this Texans Nike Performance t-shirt? Yeah, that could be you. You go to chatsports.com/HOU Nike sale. That link will be in the comment section and description of today's video. It is on sale, so don't get mad at me if you click on it and some of the sizes are out of stock, right? Get it while the getting's good, because once it's gone, it's gone. All right, let's go to the last story on today's show. Will Aireontae Ersery start at left tackle at some point this season? I'm going to give this one 4 Toro heads. Believe it. H-Town, hold it down. I really do believe Ersery will be the starting left tackle for your Houston Texans at some point this season. And I know what you're saying. Jeremy, did we forget about Cam Robinson? Texans signed him this offseason. Why would the Texans, push him to the wayside? Well, it was a 1-year deal for Cam Robinson. And personally, I'm just meh on him. How do you feel? How do you feel about Cam Robinson? Give me your confidence level. Scale it 1 to 10. 1, you have no confidence in him at all. 10, you think he might be the best left tackle in the NFL. And the reason why I'm kind of talking about this is because Bleacher Report put out another article on each team's biggest bust going into this season, and they named Cam Robinson Houston's biggest bust. This is what they had to say. The Houston Texans made the curious decision to trade away a quality starter in left tackle Laremy Tunsil as part of their offseason overhaul. While incoming tackle Cam Robinson had nothing to do with that decision, he may end up getting the bust label for being Tunsil's replacement. Robinson has always been a serviceable starter when healthy, but never a star. He appeared in 17 games last season with the Jaguars and Vikings and was responsible for 13 penalties and 7 sacks allowed, according to PFF. With a 1-year, $12 million contract, Robinson's price point is reasonable. However, he isn't likely to make fans forget about Tunsil, and that's assuming he manages to hold off rookie second-round pick Aireontae Ersery. And I've talked about a lot this offseason my thought process of maybe Ersery starts the year at right tackle. But the more I think about it, the more that, I kind of mull over Aireontae Ersery, the Houston Texans, I actually think he might not start the season as one of the guys on the starting 5. I think maybe they put Blake Fisher at right tackle, give him one more chance, say, hey, we want to work you out at right tackle, see if you can be the guy. Have Aireontae Ersery back up Cam Robinson and eventually step into that role and be the left tackle of the future. DeMeco Ryans already said earlier this offseason, whenever they were asking, oh, could Ersery bump inside? Could he be a guard? He said, no, we drafted a tackle to play tackle. That's Ersery. And he played left tackle. So if DeMeco Ryans is standing pat on that, if he's saying, hey, we drafted this guy for a reason, we see the vision of him being a starter at this position. I mean, Todd McShay said 3 years down the line, he could see Ersery being the best tackle from this draft class. So if we're able to kind of nurture him in, kind of slow play him into the starting lineup, into that left tackle role, maybe the Texans found their left tackle of the future. And I think that's exactly what DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caley have in plan for Ersery, the second-round pick out of Minnesota. I really do believe he's the left tackle of the future for this team. And for those reasons, that's why I gave it 4 Toro Heads. I think at some point he's going to start for this Texans team this year. Now, that's all I have for you on today's show, folks. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, you can do so at Jeremy Chuggs. My DMs are always open. And if you made it to the end of the video, are we at that 31K yet? I don't know. You can help it. Go down and hit that subscribe button right now for free Texans content all year long.